But anyway, moving on. Let's talk about freaking LA Comic Con, man, because we were there fairly early. You rushed me out of bed and you kicked me out the door and you drove us and our friend Christine.
Our unpaid intern, Christine.
Is that what she is?
She was our unpaid intern for the day.
And so we walked around the Comic Con and it was a little different this year. Not only was it in December, but aside from that, the layout was different.
Well, okay.
Somewhat from what we're used to.
Let's backtrack because the reason why we got there so early is that we were trying to avoid waiting in line for hours on end trying to get through security because the last year when we went, 2019. Okay. The last time we went. Yeah. Christina and I were waiting in line for 3 hours just to get through security because we got there so late. We probably got there, 11 o'clock?
Oh, wow.
Like almost midday.
Okay.
And you guys had the press pass already. You had gone, I think the day before. Mm-hmm. And Christina and I were going the day after. And we had to go through security. And it was just brutal. We were just waiting in line. We're missing all the panels. So that's why I was like, this year, that's not going to happen. So woke your ass up early. We got there. And there's like parking. Galore. No problem.
Yeah. Within seconds, we just go in and park.
We're only the second person in line to get through security. Badges, check. Just wait for the doors to open. Mm-hmm. We were chilling. And you know what I liked about Comic-Con this year, which I didn't see before, was the bars.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. I appreciated that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 8:30 in the morning. Get some drinks. Let's go.
Yeah. That was nice. We got some whiskey and then we fucking hit the bricks with that.
Mm-hmm. We got some great footage that Christine provided for us with some nice commentary with the door opening.
Right.
Because we were on the second floor. Mm-hmm. Waiting for the doors to open. And the first floor was just packed full of people. Cosplayers, press, industry, everybody's there waiting to get in. And I was not about to wait in that crowd. So that's why we were chilling upstairs, having a drink.
Yeah, everybody's not respecting the 6 foot thing anymore, are they?
No, but
everybody's vaccinated though in there.
Right, so you did have to, show proof negative test or vaccine.
And then everybody was wearing a mask.
So they were pretty good about that, and nobody was being like a total douche about it. So it worked out.
Right.
Okay, so we get in there and we're walking around, and like the first part we do, there's a lot of opportunity for photo ops. Mm-hmm. What was the first one we did? There was a Dragon Ball Z background, giant blow up Godzilla.
Yeah, good old Derpy.
Gogru was there.
There's a giant, Baby Yoda or Grogu. Yeah. That was just at the beginning of everything once you walk in.
You got the Kirby was there. Mm-hmm. The car, they had, you can donate to get into the Pizza Planet delivery car.
Yeah.
I think it was like $15 to sit in the front seat. So like they usually have those donations for charities. And the perk is you get to have a photo op inside one of those cars, which I thought that was nice. Walking around the floor, we actually saw a tattoo parlor setup.
That was dope. And you know what, man? I probably would have gotten a tattoo if it wasn't a $200 minimum, because that's the tattoo that I want is just the Stonecutters symbol on my ass. Mm-hmm. like Homer, or at least make it look like Homer supposedly is a birthmark. It's supposed to be a birthmark. And so it's not really the ass, it's kind of like the hip area, right. I guess. Or the meaty thigh area, I guess. But anyway, and but no, not for $200. I mean, if at that, I probably would have just gotten sleeved up, but I wasn't about to drop all that cash.
So I thought the tattoo setup was pretty cool.
Yeah,
but there were no privacy screens, so everybody was just kind of laid out on the table.
Right,
and there was this one.
It's like a hair salon in the middle of the mall.
Right. And there, you know,
everybody can see what's going on here.
there's a table with books of previous tattoos, you know, so just in case you don't have an idea, you can look through it. You know, oh, I like this tattoo. Let me just get this one. Or you can just create your design there.
Right.
And it's just open seating. Some tattoos, depending on the size, like you guys know this, it's going to take a while or it's going to be a few minutes, depending on what you get. And there was just this one guy, and he was just laid out on the table, shirt off, getting tattooed on his belly. And I thought it was pretty interesting because I haven't seen that, I think, at this kind of con before.
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
I sure as hell
I haven't
haven't.
seen
This is probably my third visit to LA Comic Con, and this is the first time I see a tattoo. And not only and they were getting customers.
Oh, yeah. There was a wait.
It was a wait to for people. It's like, oh shit, okay. I should come prepared next time with a design or something. Just or we can just go to the tattoo expo that's down the street every other
6 months or so.
Yeah, we go check that out. But anyway, yeah, man, that was fun. What else did we see?
You know what? I really like the cosplayers. There was a great Doc Ock, and he actually put
there was two really good Doc Ocks that
yeah.
showed up.
I
liked both of them.
The first one that we saw, he actually had Spider-Man's mask in one of the claws.
Ah, yeah, that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it looked like a thong, and I'm just like, all right, Doc Ock got
right.
busy. It turned into one of those hentais where literally it's just like octopi tentacles going into every orifice.
Crossover.
Right. And I was like, no, it's just Spidey's mask. But the other one was a much larger, he not only was the guy taller himself, but the actual arms were more, I don't know. They bent in so that it kind of boxed them in a way, caged them in. But they were long and really cool looking.
Yeah. I want to see them battle.
Yeah.
Both Doc Ocks. Multiverse.
You had a lot of multiverse-esque type of other Spider-Man. I saw a lot of noir Spider-Man, which is easy to do.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a spy versus spy, but with a black Spider-Man mask.
I saw a Captain Spider-Man. So pretty much just Captain America with the Spider-Man mask.
Oh, crazy. Oh, okay.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Same colors.
There was a lot of Tanjiro from Demon Slayer.
Uh-huh.
I saw there's a
Saw
lot
a
of
lot
that.
of green hair there.
Yep. No, it's the green robe too.
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man everywhere.
Of course. You can't not see a Spider-Man.
Surprisingly, there were a lot of Power Rangers. There was a lot of Green Rangers coming out there.
Because Jason was there, man. Yeah, we had the Green Ranger, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, aside from all the cool cosplayers, they got a lot of big names for the panels too. John Leguizamo, the Smallville cast,
SpongeBob,
Tom Kenny, fucking Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
Fucking Zachary Levi was there.
Kevin Conroy.
The
Batman.
But yeah, he usually makes an appearance, so he's kind of a staple.
Yeah.
But it's just a treat to know. He's in voice production, Vince Scully, #1 of all time, and then Kevin Conroy.
You're talking about most recognizable.
Most appreciated, let's protect these people at all costs.
Okay. That makes sense.
So I guess Betty White, Vince Scully, Kevin Conroy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. No?
Well, you're forgetting one of the greats who we lost a few years ago.
Which is?
Chikrin.
He's dead already.
Well, yeah. But
I'm talking about let's preserve the ones we still got.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Chikrin's cool, I guess.
Yeah. All right. I'm just saying.
Maybe right after Kevin Conroy in my books.
Well, it's biased because they're from California. Doing California sports.
But I'm talking about Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
Right.
He's on the list.
All right.
Higher up.
Cool.
He'd be my #1 though.
All right. Moving on. So what else did we see?
Doesn't appreciate it. Do you hear that?
What else did we see?
We saw. What else did we see? Jesus. Yesterday, you know what? It was such a blur because we were just going aisle by aisle and trying to catch everybody in the main stage and trying to catch the panels. So the way that it was set up, they actually opened up the West Hall for the video games. And in between the South Hall and the West Hall was that corridor with the panels and the photo op section.
Yeah, different rooms for panel opportunities.
Oh my God.
And I like the way they set it up because it allowed more space in the main hall compared to previous years where it was only in the South Hall. Mm-hmm. And it's just packed. It's just way too crowded for the number of people that are there. So expanding it to the West Hall just made it more breathable, made a better Comic-Con experience.
Yeah, and it spread people out too. Mm-hmm. If they wouldn't have done that to kind of open it up in that way, everybody would have been jam-packed into the main freaking convention area where the main stage is, and it sprouts out from there. Because I've been there a couple of years ago, back then it was before COVID, but it was just that. They didn't have those other wings open, those other panel rooms, and that esports area open. So it would have been way more people than, there was a lot more elbow space, which I appreciated. And speaking of cosplayers, remember Kite Man? We saw Kite Man.
Oh,
nobody ever dresses up as Kite Man too.
Nobody.
And this guy. So I guess him and his wife was Poison Ivy, which is appropriate for those who like Harley Quinn, the animated series. But everybody was like, "Oh shit, it's Kite Man," and then
oh yeah.
And you can tell, like, in real life, the Poison Ivy, like his lady friend, wife, whatever, she was kind of getting annoyed, or she was just like, the fuck, I'm Poison Ivy. I'm supposed to be, like the one that people care about.
Right, and her costume was nice.
It was good.
It was nice.
It was good.
Poison Ivy, it was a little cold, so she wore the leather jacket, but she looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
And
her red hair was nice.
The red hair was nice, and I come up to her, I was like, hey, can I take a picture of you and Kite Man? And her face was just like, oh. And she just like tugs her guy. She wants a picture. And I was like, Kite Man.
Kite Man. Hell yeah.
He said it too.
He said it.
Said it in character.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That was cool.
So
anyway, speaking of those little panel rooms, we went into a panel room which gave us two panels, like in a row, because it was with the same production crew of Bat in the Sun.
Yeah.
Bat in the Sun, for those who aren't familiar, and trust me, you likely are, especially if you're a fan of this show, you would probably follow all of these other kinds of things that happen throughout YouTube and shit like that throughout the years, but Bat in the Sun is the same production crew and company that has brought us superpower beatdowns. And that's when we saw like Batman versus Darth Vader, Predator versus Wolverine, Spider-Man versus Darth Maul, like live action duels between, two superheroes or major characters that don't necessarily belong in the same universe, in the same, DC. It could be a DC versus Marvel character. They've just gone nuts with this. And we've seen copies of this with other production companies. I think most recently I saw like a Hulk versus Superman. I saw a Superman versus, what was it from,
who? From
Invincible, Omega Man? No, that's not Omega Man.
Oh my God, what is his name? Okay,
that guy.
We're gonna.
Well, now Jesus, we're awful.
Omega?
Invincible.
No, it's not Omega.
It is.
Oh, something.
It is.
It is.
It is.
It is.
It's gonna be Omni-Man.
Omni-Man.
Oh man.
Omni-Man, voiced by
and Homelander.
Oh, and Homelander.
And so it's Superman, Omni-Man, and Homelander, and One Punch.
Holy shit! One Punch.
Yeah, and One Punch just beats the shit, like he wins because he's One Punch.
He was One Punch Man. He doesn't even have to try.
He's the strongest, at least in this animated video. Anyway, that has nothing to do with Bat in the Sun. Bat in the Sun does the live action ones, and they're fucking badass. Now, in particular, we went in there to watch their latest production called Dying is Easy, which is supposed to be, well, it's not supposed to be, it is like a 22-minute-ish video, not counting credits, a 22-ish minute video of like a small story of Batman figuring out something about the Joker because he supposedly killed these cops.
Right.
Yeah, he captured and killed these cops, but it's like a psychological episode for Batman because what he did to resolve the issue, which, I mean, the Joker already killed these people, but to resolve the main big picture was to bring peace of mind to their families because they hadn't known what had happened to their husbands in the force.
I feel like this short played out beautifully as if it were taken out of the pages of a comic book because I can see this laid out on the page and I can see the struggle that Batman's having, even though you can't see his emotion, you can still feel it.
Right. Well, I think even the acting that happened in just the lower part of the chin,
yes,
I thought was, the way he cringes his teeth is cool. The way he kind of like, his did his embouchure when in reacting to something that the Joker was telling him.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. So anyway, I wanted to read the Indiegogo that went into this, and that's how they make their money for these kinds of productions. It's all crowdfunded. So this doesn't happen if people aren't interested in making shit like this happen. And so they did this episode of Batman, and what this particular page of Indiegogo says, some of our earliest films featured the Dark Knight, so now we want to return to our roots. But this time, with your help, we can create something bigger and better. We want to create a short film featuring Dark Knight and Clown Prince locked in a battle of words that gives an in-depth look at their complex characters. This is something that we have yet to see in live action. And it features Kevin Porter as Batman. He was a good Batman. That guy's tall, too.
Yeah.
He's a tall dude. He's like 6'4" or something.
6'4", pushing 300 pounds. Like,
nah, he's not pushing that hard.
No.
He's like 250-ish.
Okay.
Give or take. Big guy. He's built too.
He
towers over everybody.
He looks like a
He
Batman.
was there at the panel, and he walked across the down the aisle, and I saw him in person. Tall guy. And then also featuring Aaron Schwenkel. I hope I am not saying that right. Shenky as the Joker. I thought he made for a decent Joker. He was also one of the producers of the.
He co-directed it with his dad.
Yeah. And so I thought they did a magnificent job. The way they made it all look, the darkness, it was very much like, not only like you said, like the pages out of a comic book, but also like it reminded you a little bit of the animated series.
Yes.
A little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like at least it had the same attitude.
Yeah.
The same vibe.
Because it definitely had that dark color scheme, like you were mentioning. And it just had that Joker craziness that we all have without it being, too in a way where like it was just too adult oriented, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like
anybody can follow this.
Right.
And it would still be appreciated by all groups.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the suit looks amazing. They did a great job with that. The Batmobile, all that cool stuff. And what I appreciated the most out of this is when I took a second look at this episode that they created, the way it's laid out in the script, the way the dialogue takes place, it take away all of the visuals and just give me the audio, and it would make for a really good Batman like podcast episode.
Oh.
Or like, just a 30-minute, audio only thing. You could still follow. You don't need the visuals, while the visuals really enhance the shit out of it. But the audio itself, because, I think they did a really great job with the music behind it too, which was the director who also did everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
I totally agree.
So anyway, this is what they had posted way back when. The stretch goals are if they get up to $25,000 in funds, their main goal is a short film featuring 2 characters diving into their psychological makeup. And it's kind of like a cat and mouse game. If they earn or if they raise $30,000, it'll allow us to add other character cameos. If they would have raised $50,000, it would have allowed them to extend the short film and feature more action. $75,000. This accomplishment allows us to extend the film and feature more action and more characters. And then at $100,000 money raised, this amazing accomplishment allows us to add in everything we can possibly dream of: a much longer film, intense action, huge sets, and many more characters. So I believe that they had said that they had reached the $75,000 one.
Yep.
And
then
that's what allowed them to create that 25-ish minute episode.
Right. And like what they were saying with different characters, if you watch the film, you're definitely going to love their rogues gallery. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to tell you who's in it. Just watch it for yourself. You're going to love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then immediately after, they invited on Jason David Frank.
Woo!
Yeah, for those who don't recognize the name Jason David Frank, he was the Green Ranger in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1. Nobody ever, at least as a little child watching the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, gave us a more in-depth, darker villain than Tommy. Like, he gave us the business for like 2 or 3 episodes.
He was so mean. He was so mean.
But he was under Rita's control, right? And Zed, right?
I thought for sure the Rangers were done. Like, this guy was just going to just whoop everybody, and that was going to be that.
Mm-hmm. Nope. This guy gave the Rangers the business for 3 straight episodes.
He's like, psych.
And then he became a good guy, and then he joined the rest of the Rangers, and then he was the White Ranger.
And then he was able to play that flute with his helmet on. Nobody questioned it. It's the magic of TV.
Right.
You just love it.
Nobody gave a fuck, dude. But anyway, the reason that he was on was because in a separate Indiegogo, Bat in the Sun Productions also was able to create this now full feature movie called Legend of the White Dragon, the Power Ranger inspired film story who features and stars Jason David Frank. Among some other, and also the guy who played the Batman in the previous thing we just
Kevin Porter,
that we just talked about.
So Bat in the Sun raised $500,000 for this film, which is amazing.
And it is. I mean, it looks great. The Legend of the White Dragon. It's like the suit that he's wearing, I guess, when he's morphed into it. Mm-hmm. It looks like it looks like the Red Ranger in white, as elements of the White Ranger and the Green Ranger. There's a diamond on the top of the helmet, which is also like in between the eyes of the dragon eyes,
reminiscent of the crystals.
Of the crystals,
Remember
and
those?
then the big diamond also that the Green Ranger wore as the chest shield.
Yeah.
Thing.
What I like about this is that, just like we talked about dying is easy, this also has a darker undertone to it.
It's a very mature Power Rangers.
Yeah. They from what they were saying in the panel, they wanted to get away from the Power Rangers. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a Power Rangers movie without being Power Rangers,
right.
With Putty Patrol, waiting for them to transform.
It takes away the silliness of what the Power Rangers, the campiness. There's no campiness anymore to this.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Power Rangers were the Adam West 66 Batman. This is the Christian Bale Dark Knight kind of attitude they're shooting for.
I can see that.
Because I think we're past the 80s and 90s Batman, because those are campy too now. In a way.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely made for somebody that grew up with the Power Rangers. But also, I feel like if you haven't seen anything of the Power Rangers, you would still enjoy this movie because it looks like it's action-packed. There's a lot of stunt martial arts in it. And the storyline actually looks pretty good.
Yeah. One thing that I liked what they said is that if you just take away the superhero element, it is still a very good story. what, you know, the trials and tribulations of the main character, I guess. I don't know specifically what the movie's going to be about. We got a taste of it in the trailer that they showed, which was the very first time that Jason had seen it. So he was all excited. He got in the front row.
Yeah.
It was kind of cute. he was like a little kid and like excited to see something for the very first time.
And this is the debut of his daughter. This is her first acting gig.
Yeah. So she's in there playing his daughter.
Yep.
So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool, man. So apparently this particular project began in 2019 as a Kickstarter campaign with a short teaser release to promote the campaign. It was a very basic teaser, which just kind of gave you a picture of the helmet and then the logo. And by April 2020, Kickstarter reached its initial goal of $100,000 to produce Legend of the White Dragon as a miniseries. Later in May, the campaign reached ultimate stretch of $500,000, solidifying Legend of the White Dragon for a feature film release. So this follows the titular White Dragon, played by Frank. He isn't the only Power Rangers alum, by the way, making a return to this type of storytelling. Jason Font, Power Rangers Time Force, and Sierra Hanna, Power Rangers Mega Force, are also involved with the project as well. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Nice. Reprise the role. It
also stars Mei Ling from Suicide Squad, King Batch of Greenland, and Mark DeCassos of John Wick 3. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a lot of people who are very familiar with how to make an action movie or action scenes and sequences.
King Batch is the comic relief, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. He was in the trailer, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He was like a hologram.
Yeah.
Right, in the trailer?
I want to see what that's all about. So the trailer's out. I think they said they were releasing it today or Monday. I don't know. It will be out there if it's not already out there. Go check it out.
There's a lot of Power Ranger similarities from the costumes to the premise. I guess the premise is somewhat similar to the Power Rangers. It might have to do with some kind of Zordon looking motherfucker. I don't know.
We'll see.
We shall see.
We shall see. So they're not even done filming it. They have a few more days of filming.
Yeah.
And then
I can imagine there's a lot of CGI though that they need to work on before this thing gets released.
Yeah. But from what we got in the trailer already, just, oh my God, looks so good.
What do you think? You think they're gonna go rated R with this? They can do whatever they want, right?
They can.
Do they want to be true to the attitude that they want to portray?
I can see it going rated R with just the violence and gore alone. If they're gonna do it that way.
Right.
Otherwise, PG would work too on a darker tone, but
that's not happening. They've said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jason David Frank, he said that he's excited for playing this more mature role. He's not Tommy Oliver by any stretch of the imagination. This guy's name's going to be Eric Reed. He says, I can finally express on television that's not for kids. Nothing that's PG-13.
Right.
This is not like, it's going to be something way more intense.
Is there something between PG and R? Or does it just jump to R?
Well, there is a NC-17.
Oh, that is no children under 17.
Right.
That is a not safe for work program that you're referring to.
But R, because R, you can be 17 with an accompaniment of
an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's it.
Yeah, right? That's it. Well, and then you get into X and shit.
Well.
So, speaking of, how would one differentiate between 1X, 2X, or a 3X pornography?
Oh, is
there such a thing? Is there, or is it just X rated? Is there a difference between the X's?
We're gonna have to look.
Is it like alcohol? Like how many X's do you have in your moonshine, kind of thing?
Well, what classifies an X in moonshine?
I don't know. Maybe the amounts or the proof.
The proof. Okay. Well, usually moonshine is like 90 proof, right? Can you have 90 proof?
That's gasoline, probably. Well, you put it in your tank.
A lot of moonshine. So then people went blind.
So what? There's just more dick and vag in a 3X than there is in the 1X?
Is it like, just a single couple versus like an orgy type thing? And it's just gross?
We'll research that
This will be on the next
on
episode.
the next episode. It'll be a very special episode of the Foo Bar Show.
A very, very
very
special
special.
episode.
Anyhow, what the fuck are we talking about? Oh, yeah, we're back to Comic-Con. So,
Legend of the White Dragon.
Legend of the oh shit. No, I was done. Right, we were done. I thought it was pretty cool that they reached the 500,000. I mean, they could potentially reach a higher number if they keep this going.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I
unless
bet.
they have some actual other types of financial backers to this.
Yeah, but that's amazing with crowdfunding like
Mm-hmm.
that, because now, like what they were saying at the panel, they're not listening to the company that's producing it. They're listening to the fans, because
Right.
the fans are paying for it. So that makes for a better movie.
And now you
essentially.
have evidence that there's an audience for this. You actually
Oh,
have
yeah.
financial evidence that like this amount of people care so much to donate so much of this money, of their own money, to get something like this made. Probably for, I don't know, they get their name on the credits maybe. I
Usually
guess.
that's what happens.
That's what,
yeah.
and then they get some swag on the side or something.
Depending on how much you donate, there can
Right.
be like, oh, you get this free T-shirt if you donate like a certain amount, or if you donate even more, you get to be on set.
Right.
Yeah.
So cool. Now I noticed that you have a couple of books here on the table.
Oh, yeah.
What did you want to talk about with one of these? Because
All right.
we stumble up against one of these guys that wrote, and I don't know, did he draw
So
this comic book?
we were walking around the aisles and I saw this cover for the Time Bandits. And it's a story about these 4 raccoons.
The Christmas Bandits.
Oh, the Christmas Bandits. God damn it, I can't even read. It's about these 4 raccoons that help Santa Claus defeat monsters to save Christmas. And we met the writer for the book, Brian
Monge?
I hope I'm not butchering that, but I probably am. And he's a pretty good dude. He works. God damn it!
Mm-hmm.
This is happening.
Yeah.
This is the point where
English, motherfucker,
Nope.
do you speak it?
every single episode this happens. So
jeez.
he was in collaboration with the.
It's gonna let you crash and burn right now. Go for it.
God
Go
damn
for
it!
it.
I was on a roll. Ariel Olivetti illustrated it, and Ariel worked on a couple of projects for Marvel and DC, so they both collabed, and the artwork looks amazing.
It's pretty cool looking.
And
It's like can you picture, remember that big buff ass Batman that was it The Dark Knight
He's-
animated movie
yeah.
where he was all big looking? That's what Santa Claus looks like.
Santa Claus looks like a beast. Like
Yeah.
he just deadlifts at all times.
That's all he does.
Yep.
When it's not Christmas, he's fucking lifting and yeah, he's just being a badass.
He's all yoked out.
Oh dude, he's huge.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of
Juggernaut status.
Oh yeah. There's definitely some magic in here. There's a little bit of sci-fi, and I think it's a pretty cute Christmas story.
Yeah. What's the age target range for this kind of comic book, would you say?
You know, I would say it's definitely for a young adult because
Okay.
there is violence in it.
Right.
Might not be for younger
kids,
children.
I mean, kids who like comic books are going to enjoy something like this, though, right?
They're still gonna enjoy it, but it definitely reads like a young adult comic book.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only
So 4 raccoon. Does it explain like an origin story of how they met with Santa? Those 4 raccoons,
so these 4 raccoons were up to no good.
of course, as they do.
Started making trouble in the neighborhood.
They got in one little fight, and their mom got scared. All right.
And, you know, Santa knows what everybody's doing. And so Santa hit them up and he was just like, I don't want you guys to do bad anymore. So I'm going to have you roll with me. And the rest was history.
He said, "Yo, home. Smell you later." Right.
Yeah. So I don't want to give too much of it away.
Okay.
But essentially, because Santa's lived so long, he's made a couple enemies.
What the fuck?
And there's always people trying
Like
to...
Krampus or like what?
There's, you know, monsters and actual humans trying to steal presents, as they do.
Okay.
Santa's there to, you know, get some bully
Keep
beat
'em
down on them. And now he has some coons friends.
Right.
Pew pew.
Are those laser guns? What are they?
They have on the cover. They have laser guns. One has a katana.
Nice. No, the artwork looks pretty. I can appreciate the shit out of that artwork. Not having read it yet.
Yeah, it's nice and smooth.
Just looking at it. Yeah. And then so as we continued walking along the aisles there, you stumbled up upon an author with a legit looking freaking book here, like a sci-fi book called The Ship by Doug Brode.
Yes.
He was cool to talk to.
He was a fun guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was open, and we got a few words with him. But The Ship by Doug Brode. I can't wait to read this.
It's also on audiobook too, apparently, like on Audible or pretty much anywhere where you get audiobooks. So I know that's mainly how you consume things, but you're actually going to try to read this?
Oh, yeah. Like I have, there's...
Like with your eyes and shit?
There's loads of books here at Filthy Martini Studios.
Yeah, there's a big library here.
There's a huge library here, so this is another one for my collection. So I'm going to read the synopsis that's written here at the back of the book. Deep within the snow-crested mountains, 9,000 feet above the lumber town of Blackwood, Oregon, a vessel has arrived. It is a craft of enormous dimensions covering the mountainous peak, and yet the ground beside it remains undisturbed. Not a single pine tree broken, not a sound to be heard. Inside the craft, however, things are not as quiet. A young waitress, Casey Stevens, awakens after having mysteriously vanished from Blackwood 35 years earlier. And she is not alone. Navigating inverted tunnels, she is plagued by ghost apparitions from her past and stalked by ravenous alien experiment gone horribly wrong. When Casey discovers her own body is changing, becoming botched with gray scaly patches, she fears she may face the same fate as the once human creature that now hunts her.
Dang. Crazy.
Ooh.
So
chills, literal chills.
That's a cool premise.
Woo.
That's a real cool premise. And we actually, it was his idea to record him for a little bit talking about it. So we actually got some audio and video of us talking to Doug Brode. So let's play it. All right, so here we are at LA Comic Con. We're here with Steph and Doug Brode. Steph just bought a book called The Ship, and we all know that Steph is all about, aliens and X-Files and things like that. But so this caught her eye. What's up with this, Steph?
So actually, I will let Mr. Doug tell you all about it because I just happened to come across this just on the fly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have done a lot of storyboard and concept art for movies like Star Trek, Iron Man, Thor, Harry Potter, blah blah blah. And I wanted to write, my own story, and I created a story about a woman who gets abducted and wakes up 35 years later inside a crashed UFO, and she's trying to escape. And maybe not everything is quite as otherworldly as people might think with UFOs and this and that. So I have different theories about that. So I put all those theories into a book. I had the idea for about 10 years, and it took me about 2 years to write it. And the second book, The Ship Returns, comes out this summer, or summer-ish.
What was the inspiration behind it, or did you already kind of have this? Was this a brainchild that you had for a long time now?
I created a show called Forbidden Science, and they put a lot more TNA in there than I had originally meant to. It was supposed to be a sexy show, but they went farther than I had meant it to be. So I sold a couple other scripts, and I optioned a couple, and they just ended up on shelves. And I loved the story. I had this idea for 10 years, so I decided just to keep it. And then I finally wrote it into a book. The inspiration came from my love of X-Files and Alien, the first one and the second one, The Thing by John Carpenter. And I wanted to take the 80s and 90s tropes and kind of bring them up to date for today. So if you like those kinds of things, I think you might like the show.
Very cool, very cool. And this just came out?
It came out this summer.
Okay.
So it's been out a
couple months. Okay.
And then the audiobook just dropped, I think, about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh, very cool. Okay. I know that's how Steph tends to consume her books, through an audiobook.
The long drive to work.
I like a book. I like the words. I like to read it, because I don't want somebody else's voice in my head. Yeah. But the audiobook, a lot of people asked for it, and the guy we hired did a great job. So, so it's available in any format imaginable.
Very cool.
Oh, except Braille. We don't have it in Braille.
Oh, hey, one of these days maybe, right?
What would you say your all-time favorite sci-fi movie is?
Well, I mean, certainly The Empire Strikes Back inspired me to be an artist. It's kind of tough to beat Lucas. I mean, you know, especially if you grew up in that time period before Marvel and all this stuff. Star Wars really was an anomaly. There was nothing like it when I was a kid. But, you know, there was John Milius' Conan the Barbarian, which is fantasy, but, it's basically Star Wars with swords. You know, what else? Aliens, you know. You know, 82 had a great run. I mean, 82 you had, I don't know, The Thing, Road Warrior, E.T., although I don't watch that, it makes me cry. I mean, you had everything in that year. Oh, Wrath of Khan, you know, everything that came out in this, like, 18-month period. Like, all of my favorite movies are basically from an 18-month period of 81 to 83. So...
that's how music was back in 91 and 92. when grunge was exploding, so that's kind of the same feeling you get when you watch your movies from back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thanks so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
We will be reading the shit for sure on the podcast.
I really appreciate it. I appreciate you taking a chance on a new author. So thank you.
I can't wait to read it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so he was a really cool guy. His wife was is the lady being heard in the background selling, you know, the book to other people and other merch that they had going on there on the table.
Yeah, so he mentioned Forbidden Science, which is actually playing on Amazon Prime.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that a series?
I believe so. And he, like he mentioned, he was on the art team for a lot of projects. Did the storyboards for Star Trek, Iron Man, Thor, Looper, you know, older movies, Van Helsing. He's great.
He also did the storyboard for the Foo Fighters' new horror movie called Studio 666 that's coming out soon.
Oh, yeah,
So
you were
he's-
mentioning that
He
movie.
did the storyboarding for that too. So so this guy has a good resume.
Oh, yeah.
So, and the fact that he understands and appreciates those tropes from the 80s and 90s and is putting it into the story called The Ship. I'm excited to listen. I'm gonna listen to the audiobook.
Yeah,
you're going to be the one reading it. So
like I'm gonna dive deep into this book.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Just, you know, based on his background and love of science fiction. Oh my god, I can't wait. This looks like a great read.
yeah, for sure. And then after that, I think that was towards the tail end.
That was
right?
towards the tail end, and Christine, our unpaid intern, left us for a while
Right.
to take pictures with Tom Welling.
That's right, Tom Welling, the Smallville Superman guy.
Our hometown hero.
Right.
Is that what we're calling him?
That's not what I'm calling him, no.
We're not from Kansas.
Nope.
What did she say? She, you know, okay. Most of you have never seen Christine before, but she's this short little bright-eyed girl. And she gets super excited, you know, for just random things. So she gets there and she's I'm not in the photo with them
Right.
because I'm over here like interviewing other people. And she just comes up and she does her like little happy dance. It's almost like dogs are like tippy tapping. That's what she's doing. And her like eyes are bright and she's smiling and she describes his reaction as like the way that she's reacting. Like he just mimics her face like with wide eyes.
Oh my god! Yeah.
And the picture came out pretty cool.
It's cheesy as fuck.
Right?
She's all like excited and smiling, and he's just kind of there, just chilling.
Like, sup?
Sup? Yeah, I thought it was. You know what? I probably would have gone for some of those photo opportunities, but you know that it's COVID times. There's a plexiglass in between you. You know, you can't be.
Yeah, but you know, in the picture, you can tell there's plexiglass there, but the picture itself still looks really good.
Yeah.
I mean, you know who you're standing next to.
Yeah, I guess.
It's for safety.
Yeah.
Oh,
Huh?
Tommy Wiseau.
We saw Tommy Wiseau
Tommy
like in the
Wiseau.
fucking flesh. He so he would have his mask on, but like if he took a picture of him, he would get behind his own little kind of booth, plexiglass booth, so he could take his mask off.
Yeah.
But he was fucking there, man, throwing football around.
Yeah, he was having
just
a great
talking to
time.
people, signing stuff. You can buy like the posters, the movie, the Room. and he'll sign it for you. You can buy like all kinds of like underwear with Tommy Wiseau on it.
I almost did it. I couldn't do it.
You know, I would have probably ended up buying the poster and had him sign it just for irony purposes and frame it and put it up here somewhere in the Filthy Martini studio.
Oh, damn it. We should have.
But whatever. That was it was cool to see him. I snapped a picture of him. Yeah. It was cool. But yeah, man, it was a great time. It was a great time. We only went for the one day. Actually, you went on Friday to pick up the badges. And you actually walked around for a little bit just to kind of get the lay of the land, right?
I walked around for a little bit, and there was maybe just a handful of people there. I went to the Hot Topic booth to check it out. There are a lot of things, a lot of exclusives were already sold out Friday night.
Jeez.
So I can imagine Saturday. They probably had some reserve left just for Saturday. But those exclusives go by fast. And those are usually like the Funko Pop toys. They had a Spider-Man, and then they had the Batman animated series Two-Face, which were the hot items, and the Two-Face sold out, so I couldn't get my hands on one, and that's the way it is. But they were showing their line of clothing, and I really like there's like a Mandalorian line. There was like a nice long sleeve Mandalorian dress for whoever wants to wear it, but I liked it. It had the helmet. I mean, no, it wasn't Mandalorian. It was Boba Fett. It's fucking Boba Fett.
He's a Mandalorian, so it counts.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up. You have anything else you wanted to talk about? The food trucks? Those were cool. We got barbecue.
You know what? It was probably the best experience at a convention for food because we were only in line for like 15 minutes just to order.
And get our food.
And get the food.
Yeah. At least in that line, we got the barbecue one.
Oh, yeah. It was
there was different kinds. There was tacos, of course. There was all kinds of like fusion ones. Mediterranean, Greek, ice cream.
Ice cream from New Zealand.
New Zealand ice cream. Because so they mixed in fruit with the ice cream.
It was nice.
Yeah.
Christine got some. And it was nice and flavorful.
Hot dogs, burgers, of course. But like their way, I guess. I don't know.
More drinks outside.
Yeah, there was another bar out there too. You can get it's full fucking bar.
Yeah.
Get your drink on. But you had to pay for it, of course.
Of course.
Those convention prices. But yeah, good experience. I recommend. I felt, and you don't feel uncomfortable at any point. Everybody's trying to really respect the security measures for COVID,
right?
And stuff like that. It's a bitch wearing a mask all day long, but if you work in a place where you have to wear a mask all day anyway, it's just another day for you.
And there were some people that were wearing like a full face shield, in lieu of the mask.
Yeah.
So I did see some of that. Yeah. So you're still protecting yourself.
Also, for the sake of their cosplaying too, it wouldn't make sense if their face was covered because that probably would take away from the cosplay itself. So they were wearing the plexi face shields. Yeah. Which is okay.
So this was Comic-Con's 10th anniversary. We've been going almost every single year. I think there was a couple years that we missed. But at least Christine and I go every year, and we will definitely be back next time around. Yeah,
and a special thanks to Comic-Con, LA Comic-Con in particular, for providing us with press passes, man. You guys are freaking awesome. We'll continue to cover LA Comic-Con. It's you could see its definite growth. Like it's definitely maturing and getting more towards that main, it's one of the main Comic-Cons.
Oh yeah.
It's come up now.
It's definitely in good competition with the San Diego Comic-Con for California.
Yeah. And we've yet to check out the New York Comic-Con. I'd like to check that out at some point.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Because
that's a big deal too.
Those are international Comic-Cons. Right. The LA Comic-Con is specifically just for this area.
Right.
So I haven't been to an international one yet. Hope to go next year.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see, man. We'll see. Well, that's going to do it for Geeking Out. And all we have left for the episode here is music highlights. So we'll be right back.